Clash Royale.
Actually agree with that. Let's see what they decide. They go with Classic.
Okay, so this is going to be a Protoss versus a Protoss. Saving Dark for later. They maybe need him as the anchor, the multi-kill player. We'll see if Classic can win this PvP. He's been preparing for this matchup specifically from day 1 to day 2 for this map, because this is the only thing you know, obviously, is your opponent in the first game. So if Innovation loses, which is unlikely, Classic still had to prepare for that potential eventuality, and now he does have the preparation to take on Trust here in a PvP. There's not a lot of data on how Trust likes a Protoss versus Protoss, so he could pull out another unique strategy here and cheese out Classic. It's totally possible.
He could really do anything, and imagine he comes out here. You can see how happy he is even after that win. You know, it really just goes back to like, okay, you know, he got that one kill. Now all the pressure's off. Now he just gets to play his game. We've heard this a lot from players who get unexpected all kills, where they get in the booth and they're like, I don't know, just after I won that first game and then I won the second game, I was really feeling it, you know?
Yeah.
I was feeling really good, and all the pressure was off. They always say that. So you can see that. You can see that from him right here.
Yeah, you absolutely can. So, guys, it is time. Let's go into game number 2 on Overgrowth here of the Protoss versus Protoss. In the bottom left for KT Rolster, it is Trust defeating Innovation in that first game.
Stepping it up here for game number 2 against his opponent in the top right in the orange. From SK Telecom T1, it is Classic, the chin toss.
All right, guys, time for a Protoss versus Protoss, a mirror here. Already, you can see Classic wants to hide what he's doing. It looks like he's going for a tight wall here at the top of his ramp. So we'll see what he's got planned. That means he's come with something prepared, though, as you expect someone who is preparing specifically for not only this matchup, but this player. There's not a lot of data on Trust, but word gets around. People talk about this player's playstyle. Everyone's hit him on the ladder. Because of Ophidian's barcode guide, actually, you can kind of sometimes figure out who's who on the ladder, even though everyone uses barcodes. So that's something the Koreans use a little bit. And everyone talks about everyone's playstyle. The info is out there, so Classic can prepare a build, but there's not as much blatant, obvious televised matches to study. And actually, he is not going to full type all that.
Yeah, just going to, you know, offer himself the option to do that a little bit later. He can always place a pylon in that hole and make sure that no adepts get up there. That's kind of the thing that you offer yourself. You also get vision of the ramp this way, whereas Trust, there could be crazy stuff going on his ramp. There could be like a Zerg infestation. He has no idea.
He has no idea. You know, it's definitely an important thing to note. It's something that people don't talk about. There's trade-offs too, because if you have your stuff at the bottom of the ramp, then if you get cannon rushed or if there's a push where they have vision, you lose that pylon, both your gateways get empowered. There's definitely trade-offs. And in the past, it was considered bad to put your gateways at the top of the ramp because 4-gate was such a prevalent strategy that if you lost your buildings back there, you're going to have a bad time. It looks like we're going to see Stalkers here coming out for Classic, but for Trust, it is going to be the Adept build. Did I say that backwards?
Yeah,
I did, because these colors are so similar.
It's rough, yeah.
I can't even tell the difference between these colors on the top of the overlay because I'm basically slightly colorblind.
Wolf is the guy that thought the Facebook was purple. So.
Yeah, not going to lie, I did think that Facebook was
They do look
purple.
very similar, though. Like, the orange is kind of like a reddish orange, you know, like a coppery orange, you know?
Yeah.
So I see where you're coming from here. But,
like, the in-game, it looks more obvious, but at the top of the overlay, I'm like, I mean, I would not stake my life on it.
At least Classic is on the right. You see his name there, and he's also on the right. So that's kind of what I've been going off of, you know?
Yeah. Dark Shrine coming up here, actually. So this is going to be interesting. Classic really trying to do a cheesy maneuver here with this one. And Trust actually has not built detection. He's gone straight into the Robo, or excuse me, into the Twilight.
And look at this, he gets in past the Stalkers. He's going to force an overcharge.
He also looks for to see if there's a Robo or not, and he will confirm that there is not at all in this base. So this is pretty suspicious to me if I'm Classic, or excuse me, if I'm Trust. Like, why are you really committing this hard for the scout? But he's just going to go blink, and he may simply just lose this game blind countered here. This is why these best-of-1 builds are so important.
I see what Trust is doing, too, where he just goes for the blink. He's like, well, I made a bunch of Stalkers. I killed your Adepts. You committed to that. You're probably going into, standard tech, right? Maybe a Stargate, maybe a Robo, but I can maybe hit a timing here with this blink and try to kill you straight up. But that's probably not going to be the case.
Okay, going to trade 1 for 1 on the Stalker. The second one might go down. He needs to get that Observer out ASAP, though. And in fact, the Stalker is kind of almost leading these Stalkers to the pylon here. It's slow warping. I don't think he sees it. I don't think it's in vision, actually. Like, not even like the... Oh, does he? No way. Did he just notice that?
I don't think so.
Okay, he did not.
I don't believe so.
He must notice now, though, and he needs to get a second pylon up, because if he just targets this pylon down, there is not going to be an Observer coming out today. He's going for it. Where's the second pylon? He's not making it. And this will probably just end the game, because now he doesn't have detection. He needs to buy time.
He needs to block. Oh, look at this. He's focusing down the Robo.
He's just going for it.
Game. He's not going to be able to get the Observer out in time, even with the Stalkers. And there you go.
That is GG.
GG.
Classic. With the builds here coming out. That's all it takes. You study a player's playstyle. You know what he likes to do. You scout. You confirm. You distract with your Stalkers. DT's come in. He wants the crowd to cheer a second time. He is a GSL champion and an SSL champion. And he wants to bring his team to another Pro League championship. He wants to get back-to-back wins. They are back-to-back Pro League finalists. In 2014, they did lose to KT Rolster, but they made it to the finals. Last season, they defeated Jin Air. They want that third finals. They're going to have to win tonight and tomorrow in order to get it.
Yeah, not going to be easy, but this is a good start. Trust gets his win. You could even see he felt kind of duped after, he lost his Robo. He just kind of gave a cheeky smile. He's like, you got me. You got me.
He even tried to use his probes to maybe move command and dislodge the DTs in some way.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that doesn't work in this game with how probes move, but I mean, it was that simple. When he moved the Stalkers to the natural, I was like, no way he saw that blur just on the edge of his vision. There's no way.
That would be insanity.
If he had noticed, he could have blocked the ramp and perhaps bought enough time, made a second pylon a little bit faster. But even if he makes that second pylon, as you guys saw, the Robo would just simply be targeted down in time if he kills the first one. There's potential to defend there, even without knowing until the DTs are walking towards his ramp. But he didn't know until the DTs were attacking his pylon, it seems to be. Anyways, now KT Rolster will have to pull out another player here. The map is going to be Dust Towers. And we'll see who they want to use.
They need someone to take out Classic here, obviously, and go into New Gettysburg. But first, guys, we are going to take a commercial break, so we'll be right back.